That's right, 71% of the Yukon region is completed, even though only about 64% of the missions are done. I genuinely would have thought that it was closer to around half. Welcome back to Yukon, everybody. Let's get started. Today we're going to work on transferring cargo and trucks over to the Flooded Foothills map. We won't be working on any contracts, but we will be completing a couple of tasks that we have remaining in this map. First thing we're going to do is load these cabins back up and take them back over to the cabin crafting area. We'll be using that storage zone to put our materials in and also get our trucks ready to move over to the other map. So we can jump into the dairy, we'll drive across the road and get these turned in. At the end of the last episode, when I checked the map completion, I was expecting to see around 50%, so you can about imagine my surprise when I saw that it said 71. It just feels like we have a whole lot of work left to do once we move into the first map. Once we get the GMC to the other side of the road and drop this cabin off, we're going to transfer fuel out of that Scout fuel carrier into this big tank. So I'm going to dump all the fuel into here from the Scout fuel carrier, and then I'm going to just transfer half of my fuel from the GMC back, and that gives us 91 liters, which is just over 10%. The GMC is going to be our fuel and service truck in this area as we're transferring cargo back and forth. So we can jump back into the Scout 800 and we'll start tracking the hunting needs task. We need to haul this Scout fuel carrier up to the top of the mountain here. So let's whip around the parking lot and we'll head back out to the highway. We've been up this road quite a few times now with other contracts and tasks, and we all know that it's not a very good road. To be honest with you, this might not be the best Scout choice for this job. It did struggle quite a bit pulling it up the hill. Something a little bigger would have probably worked better. I even considered bringing the forklift down and using that to just tow it up with the winch, and that probably would have done a better job. But the Scout 800 does get it done. It just takes a little while, trekking through this snow. And we only got to make it up here. It's pretty much a one-way trip, so I'm not too concerned about it. Now that we have that complete, we can jump into the dairy and we're going to run down to the concrete production plant. We have quite a few materials sitting down there that we need to transfer up here. So let's head down there now and we'll get loaded up. And now that we're here, we have 3 cement remaining, so we might as well use them to craft something. I'm going to craft 1 concrete slab and 1 concrete block. We'll get those loaded on the trailer and a couple of bricks, and we have 1 brick left. We'll throw it up on the platform. We can use the mini crane on the Royal to load it up on the trailer. I'm just going to set it right up there on the tongue of the gooseneck. It's not going to be packed or strapped down, but I think if we drive back taking it easy, we shouldn't have any issues with it falling off. If you remember back in Michigan, I was talking about how when you're driving trucks back from a location, one of them has a mini crane and the other does not. It's always a good idea to take the truck that does not have a mini crane first. Just in case we have some issues along the way, we can always come behind with the other truck to get loaded back up. So we'll take the dairy down there first. The Royal is going to bring back all 6 of the wooden planks that we have in storage. So you may have been wondering all along why I chose to do the second map first, and now it's starting to all make sense, because when we finish this map, we have quite a bit of cargo left over after completing the contracts. The cargo that we have, we can utilize in the Flooded Foothills map as we're working on the contracts over there. It seems like the cargo in this map is exactly what we need over there. And some of the cargo over there, like the containers that we use to craft the cabins, is what we need over here. So it does pay to transfer cargo back and forth. Now that we're here, we'll get these unloaded, and we'll need to use the Royal to unload the last one. So let's jump back into it, and we'll bring this down as well. It seems like I may have forgotten how to drive this truck in between episodes. I can't manage to get backed out of here for the life of me. Now heading back up the road, it's going to be a pretty slick drive, so you got to keep your momentum up going up the hill, but you also want to make sure you don't slide off the road into the guardrails. So just take it easy once you get up to the top. I like to just leave it in high gear. If I put it in auto, it seems like it gets a little bit too fast and I end up jackknifing my truck. High gear is a much safer choice for this. Just make sure you use your brakes before you get going too fast going down some of these hills. Now that we're here, we'll get these ones turned in, and then we can transfer that brick over to our trailer. It seems we have a floating wooden block. Okay, we have everything turned in. I'm gonna stage these trucks around to the back side of the warehouse just to get them out of the way. We're starting to get kind of a congested area going on here. And now that they're moved, let's jump into the P12. We're gonna use the 8-slot trailer to run down to the rolled steel factory. I believe we have about 15 metal rolls still in storage, so we can utilize those resources to craft up some metal beams to haul into the other map. Let's head over there. We also need to bring back that service trailer that's sitting down there. Looking back on it, I realized that I had a missed opportunity on the last episode when we used the GMC to haul that cargo container up to the top. We had room on the back of that flatbed trailer. We could have just loaded the service trailer on there and pulled it back with us. But hindsight is always 20/20, right? Let's craft up some metal beams. We can do 4 of them, and we'll get those loaded up. And now we have the challenge of pulling that service trailer back behind this long 8-slot. Definitely not ideal. Like I said, missed opportunity. We could have put it on the back of that flatbed pretty easily. But I'll try to remember that for the next time I do this. It seems like I'm always refining my approach. I'm making mistakes and then trying my hardest to remember about them the next time. So we've got a pretty long caravan going on here. I'm just hoping that we can make it around those corners up at the top without any issues. I kind of feel like it's out of sight, out of mind, so I'm not even going to look back there and just hope that everything works out. Well, we made it around that corner fine, but now we got hung up on the guardrail. And once I let go of the service trailer, for some reason the game wouldn't let me connect back up to it again. It seems to be a bug sometimes that I do encounter. I'm not sure if it's because I'm on a hillside and my truck is at a different elevation than the trailer, but I'm going to leave it there for now, and then I'll come back and pick it up. You can see how difficult it is to get this 8-slot trailer around that horseshoe. It just rides right up over the top of the guardrails. And that also is why I don't utilize this trailer very much when we're doing the big factory block contracts. But let's drop this trailer here for a moment, and I'll run back over there and bring it down the hill, and we'll see if we can get connected to it. have used the 8-slot trailer in the past, running down to the rolled steel factory, and I almost always have issues with it going around this corner. So I've resorted to just using the 5-slot trailers to do that work now. Let's bring this back over there. We'll see if we can get connected to it with the winch now. And it's still not letting me connect to it. Sometimes you can connect just using your quick winch function, but I guess the trailer is bugged. We're gonna leave it there. We'll just come back and get it with the GMC. There are some bugs in this game that have basically been persistent throughout the years that I've never seen them get fixed, and that's one of them. I thought about turning these in at the cabin crafting zone, but then I changed my mind and decided to just run it down to the bottom of the hill. We'll stage it right at the gateway. So we can leave it here. I'm gonna run this truck back through the garage and put the special gearbox back in. I've been using the advanced in the last couple episodes, and I honestly am not very happy with its performance. Although it did do a good job on the highway, I could definitely tell a power shift that was not in the direction I wanted it to be. I don't want to hit into Flooded Foothills with that gearbox in this truck. This will be the last time this truck sees the garage until the end of the region. Let's jump back into the GMC and run up that hill. We'll go get that service trailer quick. It's kind of a pain in the butt that we have to do it this way, but that's just how it goes sometimes. We won't be heading back down to the rolled steel factory for anything at this point, so we might as well keep this service trailer down in an area where we can use it. I'm just going to park the GMC over here to the left, right by the loading bay. That should work. Let's jump back into the A&K. We need to bring it down the hill. On the last episode, we damaged it pretty bad coming up the top here. Some of these rocks are real sharp. Took out a tire and most of my suspension. And of course I wasn't going to just leave it there permanently. We still have a use for this truck. Backing out of here, you want to be real careful that you don't flip over. And then just slowly head back down to the highway. Let's get this thing repaired and refueled, and we'll get it loaded up. So we got quite a bit of stuff in the storage. I was kind of debating on what I wanted to load up in here. But I know for sure we're going to put 2 cabins on the flatbed. And then I think I'm going to just load up the wooden planks so we don't have too much weight on this truck. Since we're pulling a road train and we've got 8 slots of cargo, I really don't need the truck to be unstable with heavy cargo in it. We can take this back down to the gateway and stage it with the P12. Just take it easy going down these hills because that back trailer has a lot of weight on it now, and it can push you around if you stop too abruptly. This seems like a good place to leave it. let's jump back into the Royal. We've got some cargo out in the hills that we need to go collect, so we can get refueled quick. Then we're going to head up into the mountains over by that residential area, and we're going to pick up the brick framing and the wood framing. There's metal framing over there as well, but we won't need it because of what we crafted at the rolled steel factory. And honestly, I kind of feel like it's bait cargo, because getting up in there to grab that metal framing is super nasty, and it ends up being a real headache. So we'll just leave that there and donate it to the SnowRunner gods. Heading up this back road is pretty rough. The snow is real deep and nasty, and it's going to slow you down quite a bit. The Royal will get it done, but if you choose to use a different truck that has diff locks, it might actually perform a little bit better. Since we don't have any cargo in the trailer, we're just pulling it up empty. I had to speed the video up quite a bit for this part. But now we've got some bricks loaded up, that'll give us a little extra weight on our drive axles. It should help quite a bit. We can make a loop around and head back down the other side, and then we're going to turn left on this road up here ahead. Turning left on this corner, it's a little bit off kilter to the right, so just kind of make sure you don't tip over. And then going back up the other side, you'll probably need to winch. I know I did. You can see up ahead there is the wooden planks that we're going to go grab. Now that we've got these loaded up, we can head back over to that other gateway, but instead of following the road up and around by that metal framing, I'm going to cut through the bottom here. We came through here on the second episode with the F750 when we were scouting out this map. And you can see that upgrade car right here. That's where we picked up the active suspension for the A&K MK38, just to give you an idea where we're at. Although going up this other side proved to be more difficult than I was expecting. Not only are there a lot of trees through here that can get you hung up, but the snow and mud is pretty deep as well. So to be honest with you, I'm not even sure if this was really better to go this way rather than going up and around. Although up and around usually ends up burning all my fuel trying to get through there. Probably isn't any real easy way to do this. But we made it back up and out the other side without tipping over. We are getting pretty low on fuel. The gateway isn't too far from here though. And we're going downhill, so that does help. Don't be afraid to winch yourself through if you need it, so you don't end up just sitting there burning all your fuel. We made it over here, and as you can see, the PayStar is still sitting here from episode 3, where we left it at the end. That truck's finally going to start to see some work again. It's been quite a while. And now we can jump into the White Western Star, and we're going to do the final task on this map, Unstable Foundation. We need to haul this service trailer to 3 different research points around the map. So let's get turned around. We have a full tank of fuel on the back of our truck, and we have some repair points left in the trailer. We're going to pull this and the P16 up the hill. The 2 trucks are going to use a teamwork approach to help each other out. The P16 can't really make it back up the highway without having chain tires. It'll just sit and spin along the way. So the White Western Star is going to help it by pulling it up the steep part, and then the P16 will help us get down the nasty road that we need to go down by pushing from behind. So we have a twofold approach going on here. I'm just going to warn you from the start, the White Western Star has a hard time pulling the P16 up this hill. So when you get to the point where you can't go any further, just drop it and get up over the top of this ridge and then pull it from behind. Otherwise the P16 will pull the entire operation back down the hill with it. But we did manage to get it up over the top, and we'll take this first right that's by the old metal framing. We've been going down this road so many times now, you should know it by heart. The P16 is pretty much going to push us all the way there. You wouldn't have to bring it with, but it's really slow moving with the White Western Star, trying to get down here pulling that service trailer. So this approach seems to work a lot better for me. Plus we're going to use the P16 in the other map anyway, so we might as well bring it with. The first research point is just up here to the left. You can see that tower there. We got to drive up through all these fallen trees and drag the trailer up over that box. You just got to be real careful you don't tip the truck over on this hillside. Having the full tanker on here gives it quite a bit of top heavy weight. And then once you go across the box, we can drive straight out the other side and we'll meet back up with the road. Let's grab that P16 and we'll drive it up the road and meet up with the White Western Star. We have 2 more research points to get to. The second research point is just down the road here to the right. We're going to go right past where we found that curtain side trailer at the beginning when we were opening up the warehouses. We've been down this road before too. We went this way with the F750 in episode 2 when we were scouting out the map. So you can see here to my left is the second research point. Just got to drag the trailer over that. And from here, we'll run down to the gateway, meet up with our other trucks, and we'll go to the third research point after that. We're almost done with Big Salmon Peak. Running down this road with these 2 trucks isn't too bad. It's a fairly solid road, and any of these deeper mud spots, we always have the P16 back there to give us a push. So it helps quite a bit. Alright, we've met up with our other trucks. I'm going to drive up ahead here and get these 2 repaired. We might as well use this trailer before we turn it in. We can park the White Western Star off to the side. I'll bring the P16 up here as well. And then we can get it refueled, and I'll pull this off to the side. We have 1 more truck that we need to get over here, so let's jump into that F750. We haven't driven it in a while, but we are going to use it again in Flooded Foothills. So we'll just take the same route, although the road has gotten pretty tore up from the last time we drove through here with our caravan. So just try to drive out of the wheel tracks, because that snow gets real nasty once you drive through it once. Driving just off to the side can help quite a bit. The F750 does a real good job through this stuff though. I'm really glad we got this truck back in Kola. I do wish that I had some repair points on here though. We used them all up in the previous episodes, but we do have a lot of fuel that we can use. So we made it down here. We're going to top off the fuel in this. And then we're going to use our PayStar to pull this service trailer over to the final research point. The PayStar is going to handle this a lot better than the White Western Star. We got the OHD1 tires on it. They perform real well. And then we don't have all that extra weight from the fuel. We can repair the Royal real quick before we leave. Everything is now repaired. It's time to head over there. So let's take a left out of this gateway area, and we're going to run back up this road. We just came down it with the Royal not long ago. There's also 2 more pieces of cargo up here that we're going to haul back. That final research point is just over here to the left, so we can drive through the trees right along the side of this rock, and we'll sneak right up around the corner and get it turned in. So we got that one done. We're finished up with all of the contracts and tasks in this map. Leaving here, we can go down through the trees, and there's a couple of bricks over there that we can pick up. There's the bricks. Let's load these up. And now we just got to head back over to the gateway. So we didn't work on any contracts in this episode, which I think is okay. We've been working our butts off lately on that stuff. It's kind of nice to have a little break from it. We did complete a couple of tasks, and we got a lot of cargo transferred in preparation for the next contract. So I feel like we're in a pretty good position. When you're driving back here, try to stay to the left because there's a rut here on the right, and I have tipped on this many times before. I was trying to avoid it, but I kind of lost control. And you know what they say, accidents always happen within the last few minutes of getting to your destination. Luckily, we do have the P16 close by. I'm going to use it to pull this truck over. Although it did manage to get stuck on a bush, I wouldn't think the P16 would have that much trouble, but it did. Let's load these up real quick and then we'll head over to the gateway. This side hill where the gateway is actually pretty dangerous. It doesn't look bad, but it's so soft, you can easily tip your trucks over on it. I'll get it refueled one last time, and then I'm going to leave it here. We've gotten everything prepared to start working in Flooded Foothills, so make sure you come back on the next episode when we get going on the big contracts over there. I'm really looking forward to it, and I appreciate everybody being here so far. We'll see you on the next one, and thanks for watching.